Together we made it. We made it even though we had our backs up against the wall. Forever we waited. And they told us we were never gonna get it, but they took it on the road. On the road. On the road. Ladies and gentlemen, I have not been this happy in the history of me being a fan of this game. I have not been this happy. I mean, I got to keep it a bean with y'all. I was moved to tears by seeing that six reach final six. I mean, I might be brought to tears during this rant because people do not understand. For us to sit through what we sat through to get to this point, we all should give ourselves a round of applause. We weren't emotional fans of this game. We were logical heads who stuck by it, who believed at a certain point, maybe the right things will happen, maybe change will come. But it was our relentlessness. It was us complaining to CBS, complaining to TMZ, complaining to this, complaining to that. And this is proof. This is a testament. When we jump on code together, we can create real change in this community. We can create real change in any community. This should be the lightning rod that we need. Excuse me, y'all. I never thought I would see this, man. I never thought it. If you would have told me when I started this channel about 6 years ago that all that work wouldn't have been for nothing, I would have still went through with it knowing it could have been for nothing, because that's the person I am. But man, before we even get into the emotional side of this, I would be a fool to not give credit and recognition to those who made it possible for this six to be here. First thing foremost, I want to give credit to the Queen, Miss Arissa Cox. If it wasn't for her becoming the executive producer of Big Brother Canada, we do not get the Sunsetters Alliance. We do not get Kiefer. We do not get Latoya. We do not get Tashawn. We do not get Jetson. We do not get Beth. We do not get Tina. The reason why I take it so personal, when people try to give Davon the credit that I believe Big Brother Canada truly deserves, is because without that season, I do not believe Big Brother US or CBS has the courage of their conviction to believe it can work. That Sunsetters Alliance showed people a schematic and a blueprint. If you give black people at least 5 representatives, there can be a black winner. Now, granted, fans of Big Brother Canada 9 will tell you, well, they had 5 people out of 14. It's kind of skewed because when you look at it, 5 goes into 14 about 2.8 times. So the advantage that you can argue the 5 black players on BBCAN 9 had, you could argue they had a better advantage than even this Cookout Alliance had. I think that needs to be stated as well. There's going to be a lot of people acting as if this alliance did not have it hard. They had it hard. They had it so hard they fought with each other. That's how hard it was. They had +1s that they were in charge of, that they had to keep under control. I mean, did you see Xavier tonight? He knew what needed to be done for the 6. He threw the HOH to make sure Alyssa would go. He threw up the peace sign again. He won the veto he needed to win to ensure she couldn't win it. And even that brother was brought to a little bit of tears because he had to let her go. I hope this changes the narrative on Xavier as the game player for good, because I've been trying to tell people he's not going to put Alyssa above this 6. I don't care what people say. This brother was the gorilla glue of this alliance, and he was the one who wanted this 6 to make the 6 damn near the most. Because I was a fan of his, I never fell for the goofy stuff, the propaganda. And if you believe that in any way that I have any hatred towards Tiffany, you are wrong. Because I was hoping, I had my fingers crossed, I was nervous this entire day. I had to hit the gym today just to let some of the nerves go, coach. Let some endorphins come into the brain, right? I did not want to go into this episode tonight nervous out of my mind for the worst case scenario where Alyssa wins an HOH or she wins a veto. I knew if Alyssa won veto and not HOH, Xavier was gone. I knew if Alyssa won HOH, Tiffany was gone. I still didn't want Tiffany gone because I knew this moment right here, I don't get brought to tears if they make Final Five. I get brought to tears when the 6 makes the 6. Now I understand how like women can watch chick flicks and they can be brought to tears by stuff, and I'll go, man, how is that making you cry? This type of stuff brings emotion even out of the rant god. I'm truly touched by this. So not only do I want to give credit to the Sunsetters, not only do I want to give credit to Miss Arissa Cox, I want to give credit to the rest of the cast of BB Can 9 too. Y'all had to compete versus that alliance to make them create that alliance to take y'all down. No matter how y'all may feel, y'all are part of this history too. Let's not get it fucked up. BB Can 9 will forever be connected to this history. And I'm going to make sure on this channel, I make sure people do not forget that season now. They never will. I promise y'all. And y'all know me. I did not agree with how that season ended. Sorry about my connection, y'all. If it's tweaking out, it's tweaking out. But we going to keep it moving. But I did not even agree. By the way, thank you for the super chat, y'all. I appreciate it. I hope y'all can understand why I don't really want to go to the super chats right now. Because I feel like we're having a real wholesome moment here. This alliance was through the ringer, man. I'm not even going to do an intro tonight. This is too serious of a topic for me. I'm going to take the gauntlet off. Because in my opinion, the Infinity Stones are those 6 members of that alliance. When I tell you, production also needs some credit. Because I was skeptical. Remember the first rant in this playlist, y'all? I created the argument that this was CBS's last chance. And man, did they knock this out of the park. They knocked this one out of the park. Julie Chen deserves credit. The executive producers on this show deserve credit. Alyssa deserves credit for fighting as hard as she did. I don't even want to forget about you, Alyssa. It's a testament to how good you are as a player that I even felt nervous tonight. I feel like if Claire was in Alyssa's position, I wouldn't have been anywhere near as nervous. So I'll own that. Alyssa is a better comp beast than you, Claire. But, man, we went through BB21, which I boycotted because I knew what was up, but still, we went through BB15. If you would have told me 2 years after BB21 we'd have this moment, I'd say, what are you smoking and drinking? And I'm not even going to play the Dr. Umar cut. It's too serious of a topic here. I'm so happy for so many people, man. If there's anyone I forgot to mention during BB Can 9 that deserves some credit, my apologies. I'll even give Spicy V some credit. Let's keep it a bean. If we don't get Spicy V in BB Can 9, do we get Tiffany? I don't know. Not saying they're similar archetypes, but I'm just saying Spicy V definitely changed. She remixed that black woman archetype. She remixed that. And I've always said she was the best player that season. And in a lot of ways, I mean, the secret HOH twist was copied from BB Can 9, brought to this. The team twist that started off this season was copied from BB Can 9, brought to this. No matter how you shake it, coach, let's really keep it funky. BB Can 9 has as close of a one-to-one comparison to this season now than any 2 seasons back-to-back ever played. Here I was thinking, and my apologies for the connection, here I was thinking the way Tashawn won the game would have a negative impact on the American version, but I gotta admit, it didn't. I'm gonna own up and admit I was wrong. Nights like these can bring us together closer than we've ever had before. And I am not too full of myself to not see this important moment for us, man. Because we might not get this again. Let's take it all in. That's how I really feel, you know? But wow, man. So yes, anybody connected to Big Brother Canada, Global TV, Anybody who had anything to do with that show, kudos to you, because this doesn't happen without you. The black community appreciates you all, and not only the alliance, but the cast as well. Arissa Cox deserves the most roses because of the show. Well, because she became executive producer on the show. She took on a lot of pressure. She wore that listen, it would have been really easy for Arissa Cox to be set up to fail. She took that executive producer role, and she knocked that out of the park too. And I'd argue her knocking it out of the park so well, it made it easier for BBUS to knock it out the park. So while I'm willing to give BBUS credit for doing the right thing, I gotta keep people focused on BB Can 9. If you have not seen BB Can 9 yet, and you are reaping the benefits of this season as a black fan of this game, I highly recommend you go watch it. Because it's always important to see where we've come from. It's always important to see the people who planted the seeds, who watched the herbs grow, who saw it become not just a forest, but also a garden, right? It's important to give credit to those who deserve it, Coach. People can say whatever they want. Oh, they're Canadians. Hey, man, listen. Hey, ain't nothing that different from them than us. They going through the same stuff we going through. They just happen to have a border in between us. That's it. But, man, now I hope people understand why I did not want Dade to get the credit for this. And I don't even want to mention her because I don't even want no negativity around this rant. But my point is, we need to make sure the right people get the right recognition. Because if we don't see a black winner months ago, do we believe the Cookout could work now? I don't know. Does production believe the Cookout could work now if Tashawn doesn't win the game? I don't know. So no matter how you shake it, Coach, they deserve their respect. Now, let's go into this episode, ladies and gentlemen. There's a few things I want to discuss. I don't want to get too game body. I do want to spend a large portion of this rant answering y'all questions because I truly feel like this is the day for y'all to have your say. Skip what I got to say as much, right? This is about the community as a whole. But I will break down my thoughts on this episode, and then we'll get some back and forth action going. And I truly appreciate all of the super chats. I will be sure to go back up the scroll up and see everyone. I truly appreciate all of y'all tonight. I do. I do not want you all to think I am ignoring you by any margin or shape or form. Man, this is just an emotional night for us all. You know, we see Hannah come up with the plan to force the 4-1 vote. If you were a patron this week, I gave patrons 3 hours worth of content this week. Not only the midseason worst to first, but last night, of course, was Fortune Favors the Code. And in that rant, I basically broke down how Azza was trying to figure out a way to keep this a 3-2 vote because she wanted Alyssa, if she won HOH, to go after Hannah, Kylan, and Tiffany before she goes after any of the Jokers and X. Of course, this didn't happen because Hannah decided to throw a curveball and a changeup. I think Hannah was very wise for forcing this 4-1 vote. But the problem is, Anna, by you forcing that 4-1 vote only to betray Alyssa the way you did, compounded by you throwing up Kylan as a pawn over Big D or Azza, I think Hannah went from starting tonight in a great position to ending the night in a very bad one, especially since she can't compete in the next HOH either. If Kylan somehow wins this final 6 HOH, is he even mad at Xavier the same way? I don't want to get ahead of myself, but man, I think Hannah may have overplayed her hand here, trying to make sure Xavier. Now, I get why you want X on the block next to Alyssa. But if you don't throw up X next to Alyssa, X just throws the veto every time. He just throws it. And the fact that Kylan was the only one within the 6 that didn't get to compete for this double eviction veto, it probably made Kylan feel like, oh, wait a minute, am I being backdoored? So, if you watch tonight's episode, Kylan was visibly heated. When it was time for that man to deliver his speech, he didn't even know how to put words together. He was like, look, I like you all. I really have nothing bad to say about you, Alyssa. But if y'all keeping me, keep me. He didn't know what to say. He didn't expect to touch the block tonight. Now, maybe if Alyssa was HOH, maybe. But you got to understand, Kylan over the past week has been trying to create this three-person alliance of him, Hannah, and Tiffany. For Hannah to be the one to throw him up as the replacement nom feels like something's afoot. Now, Kylan ended up staying anyway, so no harm, no foul, really. But I think Hannah may have done Xavier a favor because Claire's out here saying, hey, X has my vote. You know, Claire, she's super butthurt over X playing so well. I mean, even Claire tonight, as she left, said, I'm going to vote for X to win the game if he's there. She meant it. Even over Tiffany, she said she would vote for him. So this shows me Claire is somewhat bitter, but she also is playing this. She's playing Big Brother still outside the game. She's basically telling Julie, I understand what Tiffany wanted to do, and I support that fully, but I'm mad as hell at y'all black folks. She plays this game of playing both sides. But with that said, though, we're going to get to her in a second. Don't worry. Let me stay on Hannah for a second. In my opinion, forcing that 4-1 vote so Kylan takes sole blame for the vote was smart gameplay at the time. Because this is another move she should get credit for over Tiffany. But now that she has backstabbed Alyssa, and now that Alyssa has gone to Julie to tell her that she feels betrayed by Hannah, I think it's safe to say Hannah might not get Alyssa's vote now. Which is a shame, because Hannah, you did a lot of work this week to try to shore that up, only for you not to be able to. I mean, in my opinion, Hannah, every time you throw up Big D, every time you throw up Azza. Why? Because they're less likely to win a comp. They're less likely, even if they hold a grudge, to get you out off that. But you also got to take into account, Azza and Big D come as a pack. They come in a group of two. Heading into Final Six, you don't want to make enemies out of two people when you know both of them are going to stay anyway past the vote. I think in Hannah's mind, she believed by being the outgoing HOH, if she happens to touch the block, it's best for a game not to burn bridges with 2 votes over just 1. But Hannah, you know you're not the Final Six target. In my opinion, it was a bit of a choke there. I got to be honest here. Other than that, though, the way she performed in that HOH comp tonight, oh man, I told y'all she's going to be a problem. All right, now her jury management, there's more to be desired there, and that's going to be her biggest hurdle because she's made some key mistakes. I even thought some of her tone towards Sarah Beth could have been better. So, in the goodbye message. So understand, Hannah probably doesn't get Brittany's vote over Tiffany. She might get DX's vote over Tiffany. I don't know. But when DX finds out Claire was done bogus by Tiffany, I think DX and Claire vote for Hannah over Tiffany, especially since Hannah used Claire's speech in her speech, which threw up Xavier and Alyssa. I think Claire will get a kick out of that. She'll feel like Hannah did more for her posthumously than Tiffany. I think that's going to lead to Hannah maybe securing DX and Claire. But outside of DX and Claire, what vote does she have now? She lost Alyssa. I think she doesn't have Brittany. I don't believe she has Kylan anymore. And depending on how Big D and Azza get taken out, if they get taken out, she could lose their votes too. This game is getting really good. It's really getting good. I mean, listen, I love this alliance, man. I really do. Listen, hey, man, no matter how many differences I might have with Tiffany, but I love her too, right? Huh? Without her, the 6 ain't here. Without X, the 6 ain't here. Without Hannah, the 6 ain't here. Without Big D laying on that bed being furniture, the 6 ain't here because they needed his vote. Without Azza being here, the 6 ain't here. All right? And without Kylan being here, the 6 ain't here. I want to make sure I didn't leave nobody out. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this was a well-oiled machine. I told y'all this was the 2017 Warriors. I told y'all. Huh? This is, well, technically the 2017 Warriors didn't get 73-9 and break the record. But at the end of the day, this alliance broke the record. So maybe we should just say this is the 2016 Warriors. But they ain't going to blow a 3-1 lead. You know what I'm saying? You know, maybe we can say the Cookout is the 2015 Warriors if Draymond doesn't hit LeBron in the nuts. There we go. Hey, I think that's a good common ground. You know what I'm saying? A nice little qualifier there. Of course, Julie makes Xavier go first to deliver his speech so Claire can have the stage to bash him with no rebuttal. I thought that was very typical tonight. I wasn't a fan of it. But in hindsight, I'm actually happy. Because X could have delivered a worse speech being emotional over Claire's speech. So, in the end, him just smiling off her speech, I think it made him look very humble. It made him look like someone who knows, I got the cookout, baby. You totally out of the loop, coach. So kudos to him, too. Um, X handled even this with tons of class by smiling it off. Tiffany thinks that speech won't be connected to her based off feeds, but it probably will be, Tiffany. In my opinion, Tiffany's best move all day was to make sure Claire didn't do that. Because now Xavier knows Claire was put on orders from Tiffany to do it because Claire doesn't do anything for herself in this game. Everything she does is for Tiffany, too. Like, come on, Tiffany, you should know this will be linked to you. Now, at the end of the day, if Tiffany wins Final 6 HOH, no harm, no foul. But if she doesn't, if X somehow wins it, I think her putting the battery in Claire back just gave Xavier more incentive to show no remorse, you know? But then Claire gets evicted 4-1, but then she refuses to hug anyone like a true bitter coward. She talked a big game in her speech, but she ran out the house like she was shook. Get to stepping. Ladies and gentlemen, give me 1 second. I really got to blow my nose here. I started off this rant a little emotional, and now sorry about that, coach. It's a little technical difficulties. We had to get right. You know what I'm saying? Look the part, be the part, man. I can't be out here looking crazy in these streets. But you know what? Blowing my nose real quick, I just thought about something real fast. Should Brittany be worried that young Sheldon has more bars than her? Am I the only one that noticed that CBS rap that young Sheldon did to showcase the fall lineup on CBS right after the episode? I was like, what is this? I'm over here in the cut preparing for the rant like, this boy got bars, boy. Let me find out Quentin Miller writing his lyrics too. All right, we gotta get people back online with us now. You know what I'm saying? One joke we gotta crack. Now, Hannah wins a very unique HOH comp, then throws up Xavier next to Alyssa. Hannah wisely uses Claire's speech to justify her speech, so now I don't see Claire voting for Tiffany to win over Hannah. And this is the Hannah I told people that would likely win the game. She has that yoke factor from a mental standpoint that makes her very dangerous. I'm super happy Hannah got her moment to win an HOH, but I'm mainly happy Alyssa is one step closer to being sent to the Shadow Realm, and the 6 is one step closer to history. Then Xavier does his job by winning the veto, sealing Alyssa's fate. It's only right that Hannah and Xavier, the two closest people within the 6 to Alyssa, win the 2 comps that take her out. This season has been ironic like that. But Hannah choosing to throw up Kylan may be the biggest misplay of the night, because this could push Kylan to flip on Hannah and Tiffany in Final 6. Before commercial break, Tiffany tried to get Hannah to not throw up Kai, and Kai was visibly upset. Alyssa gets evicted 3-1 while on the block next to Kylan, and Xavier truly cries about it. And it was a real touching moment to see Big D hug him. Big D knows what this feels like. Big D lost Frenchie, and he was hurt something serious. And that was his crush. So of all the people to hug it out with X, I thought it was only right that Big D would be there for him. That was a good look. Then they put their hands all in and said, "Final 6!" And even Tiffany said, "We the best alliance ever now." You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing they can say no more. Ain't nothing they can say. And ain't that the truth? So now Hannah went from a solid night of having Alyssa, Kylan, and Claire all liking her to only having Claire left still liking her. Ooh. Alyssa tells Julie she would have taken X to Final 3 but not Final 2. She says she is very proud of the game she played. Keep your head up, Alyssa. You went up against the 2017 Warriors and you won a game off them last week when nobody else could. That's something to be proud of. Hold your head high. But ladies and gentlemen, now I want to answer y'all questions. This rant is about y'all. You feel me? I want to hear y'all thoughts on this game. I want to hear y'all thoughts on tonight. Were you nervous tonight? Boy, I was shitting bricks. You feel the dig me, boy? I came back from that gym. I tell you, boy, I jumped in. I had a cold shower like a have-not. You feel the dig me? Mainly because it helps you with your muscle recovery. That's just a pro tip right there. But, man, I was nervous, something serious. I was eating dinner before the episode like, man, well, I don't want no funny business now. You know what I mean? So, man, I'm super happy. I'm over the moon. I'm over the moon. You know? Whew, no matter what, someone black is guaranteed the game. And we know for a fact another double's coming in 2 weeks, which will bring us right to the Final 3, I believe. Because if we're Final 6 now, we have a standard eviction next week. Then 1 week after that, we lose 2 more people. That means we will lose 3 in the final 6 within the next 2 weeks. So we finna fast forward this game real quick. And it's going to be very interesting to see what pops off. By the way, if y'all are watching live feeds, if there happens to be any HOH comp on live feeds, could you please give me the update as we move along and as I answer your questions? And please, of course, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to hit that like button for me. Hitting the like for this type of a video is for the culture. Even if you don't like me, hit it for the Cookout, coach. We the Cookout crew, baby. You know what I'm saying? We the Cookout crew. I don't think it's next week, Precious. So it is next week? Oh wow, it's back-to-back doubles. Oh damn, damn! My heart rate just slowed down. Now it's gonna speed back up. Julie, why you doing it to us? I'm cool though. Hey, at least it wasn't a triple. At least we get this moment. I'll take it. I'll take it. Yes, sir. Cookout crew all the way, Miss Lisa. It's lit in these streets. Dang, I tried to scroll up and see the super chats, but I can't see them no more. Come on, man. You mean to tell me I can't go back in time and rewind? It is what it is. But thank you so much to everyone who threw a donation towards the RBR. I appreciate you more than you know. Claire was super salty, FD. I mean, her speech was so bad. So bad. She put more work into that speech than she put into 9 weeks of her own game. You feel it, dig me? Like, I'm like, Claire, where was this ambition? They gonna love me for my ambition. Shout outs to Wale. But where was all this ambition at when you had that secret HOH twist? That's what I'm trying to find out. You know what I mean? Like, where was this fire at then? When I see her criticize Azza, saying Azza's not playing hard enough, saying she wants to shake up Azza. Hold up, coach. Wait a minute. Listen, you don't have the faculties for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like Big Shaq. You don't have the faculty for that, big man. You know what I mean? Bigfoot. You don't have the faculty for that, Sasquatch. You feel what I'm saying? No disrespect. But at the end of the day, when you could dunk a basketball and Azza can't, I'm not trying to hear you criticize her. She ain't got no 40-inch vert. But you do. We expected more from you. That's all I'm saying. Huh? I'm just saying, coach. I'm just saying. Yeah, when X saved himself, man, that was a huge moment right there, man. That was something Caitlyn from BB20 would have never been able to finish, that puzzle. You already know. Man, X's entire process to completing that puzzle, damn. That dude he's a yoke artist too. Like, I feel like X, and see, that's another good thing about the Wait Tonight happened. By Hannah winning her first HOH, that's another competition spread around. Right? Xavier's been throwing comps. He got thrown up 4 weeks in a row. Now, if I know X, he gonna gun for this HOH like it's the last thing on earth. But at the end of the day, man, listen. Skip tomorrow. Today is great. You know what I mean? Today is great. If today could last for 20 days, I would take it. You know what I mean? Great weather outside. Everyone I've come across today was in a good mood. It felt as if everyone was in a cookout groove. You know what I mean? Ain't nothing like it. Ain't nothing like it. Okay. C Queen says, I watched feed until 6 a.m. last night. Hannah told X and Kai as replacement nom they would touch the block to secure Alyssa's eviction. Okay. Well, at least she told Kai ahead of time. But the way Kai reacted during the live episode, C Queen, it came off like he felt blindsided by this. And then when the excuse is, oh, I did it for jury management with Alyssa, Kylan gonna look at you a little funny style. Because in his mind, it should matter more to you that us 3 beat the other 3 in final 6. But you've shown me I'm on the bottom of this 3 because you threw me up before Tiffany. So now if you Kylan, wait a minute. Xavier's my only shield anyway. Huh? He's willing to take me further. Man, this might make Kylan win Final 6 HOH and go for Hannah. You never know, bruh. Because Kylan, honestly, it seems like he's scared to sit next to Hannah in Final. That's what it feels like to me. It feels like he's scared to sit next to Hannah in Final 2. It feels like he's more willing to fight for his life versus X, believing he could win versus him, than he's willing to lose to Alyssa. So, I don't know. And that's what makes this game so interesting to me. Like, winning HOH this week is great, but I'd argue the veto has so much more power, especially if you off the block and you win it. Oh my. Because there's only 3 votes. So if you win the veto off the block, take the person off, y'all both have the majority vote right there together. It's almost like a Final Four kind of this week. Man. And see, that's the thing. For that reason, I think Xavier touches the block again if Tiffany or Kylan win HOH. I just think it makes sense because you do not want to give Xavier the chance to win veto, take off Ozza or Big D. Now Ozza and Xavier run your HOH week, and you lose one of your 3 because you didn't throw him up. Every time they're going to throw up probably Big D and Xavier if someone on the other side. But see, here's the thing. Will Kylan flip now? Man, this is a great game. Man, this is a great game. I really don't know who wins now. If you would have asked me 2 weeks ago, I'd probably say Xavier. If you would have asked me before this live episode, I would have told you Hannah. After this live episode, I'm a little low on Hannah now. Now I feel like it's Tiffany versus X to win. But now that Kylan was shown that he's kind of on the bottom, Kylan might just go straight up. He might just become the yoke wizard himself, and he just might just cause just straight havoc. And before we know it, Kylan somehow wins. We don't know. That's what's so great about this game. But you know what's so good about being a Cookout fan? No matter what, we win. Yeah. Oh, man. So this is what it felt like 20 years being non-black and watching this game. I shouldn't even say non-black, Coach, because there's a lot of fans that are Asian, that are Latino, that will watch this game and go, hey, I don't identify with some of this stuff. Hold up. So I ain't going to do y'all that way. I'll say this must have been what it was like to be a white fan of this game for 20 years. To know no matter what, things are going to be okay. To walk into a live double eviction. I mean, I was still nervous, but man, my nervous levels compared to how I was nervous during BB Can 9, it's not even close. My nervous levels compared to how I was during BB 20, not even close. You know what I mean? So, absolutely, man. I just feel like, man, I'm so glad I covered the season now, man. Imagine if I wouldn't have covered it, man. I would have had regret the rest of my life. I ain't gonna stunt. I ain't gonna stunt, you know? But yeah. Miss Regina White says, this is the best season yet, even though we know it was supposed to fail. Black people standing together. Real talk, Regina. I like to hear that. Shout outs to you. Lisa says, sending you dap from Baltimore, Dave. Hey, dapping you back, Coach. Budgie says, all we needed was numbers. That's a fact, Coach. Fairy says, X killed the veto. Oh, yeah, listen. And see, right before the veto count started, I said, X, we need you to take the ankle weights off, Rock Lee style. And he did that, boy. Now, listen, he picked up all them blocks and took them to the other side before I realized I thought he took one block at a time because he moved so fast. He had all the blocks already next to the puzzle. As soon as the horn, boop, he took like 7 blocks, boom, dropped them down, already knew the one to put on the bottom. I'm like, yo, this dude is incredible, dog. Increíble. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm just happy we have so many members of this alliance that have so many different tools, that had such far range in all of the different people they could influence, man. This is truly a masterclass of an alliance, of a season of controlling things. This isn't a group of veterans. This isn't a group of people who played this before. These are newbies who played this like they've been doing it their whole lives. Like, this should not be downplayed by any means necessary at all. You know? It shouldn't be. You know? And that's why I'm not downplaying it. And that's why I'm letting the strategy of it all take the back seat to the emotions this time. Because, hey, this is the time for us to be emotional and deserve it. Oh, yeah, y'all caught that Quentin Miller joke. Miss Selena. She be catching them. Hey, Joe P. Hey. Don't disrespect Hannah, though. Come on now. Hey, man. I'm going to keep it a bean with you, Joe P. Ain't no place for that, bro. The Shadow Realm awaits. Hey, man, you disrespect Hannah on Cookout Celebration Day, you an op. I'm just telling you right now, the Shadow Realm awaits. All right? Hit the road, Jack. Get to stepping. I ain't got time for that tonight. X will take all them out. Good for the season. I don't know about that, Miss Barbara. I don't know about that. Hey, listen. I, I am not going to be biased in one way or another tonight. Tonight, I'm looking at this as unbiased as humanly possible. Everyone is on a canvas right now, and I think it's really anyone's game at this point. Because listen, depending on how you take out that first person of the six, it could lead to a domino effect of bitterness. You never know. And you know the people before the six are bitter too. Imagine how that first black person, well, okay, at least it's a double. So at least one of the members of the cookout gets to be with another member of the cookout to explain the cookout. At least they don't explain about it. Okay, from that perspective, I like this. Because I feel like, man, they would be walking into the wolves' den having to explain this by themselves. I wouldn't want that for anyone. I believe the jury would be understanding, but with that said, damn, why does next week have to be a double, though? Because that means we won't see Claire reaching the jury house like we could have. No. Now, maybe they'll fit it in somehow. But dang. Production, can you make that a 2-hour episode next week? Can I ask for something here? Because I think fans will agree with me that seeing Claire walk into that jury house in an extended sequester segment would be great television. Also, if we're going to be down a Final Four by the end of next week anyway, now there's time constraints. They probably have schedule clashes and stuff. It's probably impossible at this point if they didn't plan for it to be 2 hours already. But what I'm saying, though, is, man, the way this game just happened to shake out a certain way. Or how about this? If you can't fit the jury segment on TV, put that on Paramount Plus. A real good jury segment with Claire reaching the jury house and explaining what just happened to her. I'm telling y'all, if people don't have Paramount Plus now, black folks will pay money just to see that. Huh? Hey, listen, man, listen. I could be part of the advertisement team because, man, I be giving ideas out. I need to start charging for these ideas, boy. Steve P says he was nervous all day and the mission is complete. He screamed very loud. That's dope, Steve. That's dope. I ain't screamed, but man, when I tell you I had one of those Michael Jordan fist pumps. Like I was like, when X won that veto, I was like, that's what I'm talking. Like I felt like I was part of a basketball team. And I was on the bench after someone just dunk on somebody. I'm like I just stand up and go, that's what, yeah, let's get it, yeah. Like I was in the zone when he won that veto because I knew it's complete. We've done it. Ethan Hunt, it's cracking in these streets. Hit up Ving Rhames, we got another mission. You know? But man, there will never be another alliance like this. Put them in the Hall of Fame. Retire their jerseys, coach. You know what I mean? Retire their jerseys. You feel me? Man, these are some of the best players ever. You know, not just the best alliance. Let's keep it funky. This alliance has some of the greatest players ever. That's why they're the best alliance ever. Let's stop the nonsense. Let's stop the nonsense here, all right? I'm going to keep it a bean. Listen, some of the stuff Kylan did this season, you got to put him up there. I'm not saying he's one of the best ever because he has made mistakes, but I'm saying he's up there. Xavier is irrefutable at this point. Hannah, I mean, come on, bruh. She's as unique as they come. Tiffany, like I said, we may have our differences, but I can't knock how legendary she is. She is, right? She is legendary. I just wanted to make sure that people knew there were other sides to the story. So I told the truth, and I didn't pander. But with that said, we pandering to all six fans tonight. You feel me? Hey, listen, we can be biased tonight. But towards the six, not individual players within it. I want that to be specifically said so people don't think I'm being a hypocrite, all right? I was stressed for Xavier, but Xavier handles it so well. Yes, Abdi. I mean, when you talk about somebody who handles the block with a lot of grace, X is that guy. Like, real talk, man. I know a lot of people who were thrown on the block in previous seasons, and they just break bad, or they lose control of themselves, or they just can't transition into knowing as a nom you can't really play as aggressive as you would like. Those type of things. Rexum R says, Coach, have you seen all the hate X and DF are getting? It's like people feel like they have to hate the men. You know what? I'm not even going to dive into that tonight. You know what? People can have that. This ain't the moment to be divisive. This ain't the moment to bash people. This is the moment to show respect and give the roses to every member. This is the time. So honestly, I could care less what Twitter's doing. All right? Because at the end of the day, the 6 made the 6, and Twitter, y'all got to deal with that. I know there's some people who didn't want the 6 making the 6. I cracked a joke in a community post, and boy, did people get mad at me. And I'm like, damn, y'all don't even get the joke. Y'all don't even get the joke. Now, there was people who got it immediately, but see, this is why I don't share a lot of my posts from Patreon with the community, because I know there are certain jokes the patrons will get immediately, and there are certain jokes the public won't get because they're out of the loop because they aren't patrons yet, right? This is why I kind of slow feed a lot of my community posts. I'll give updates on the strategy. Someone wins a comp, someone wins a veto, someone comes off the block, things like that. But a lot of my banter is usually exclusively to Patreon because everyone can't handle my type of sense of humor. So, and some people misconstrued it again, but it is what it is. I mean, if you just follow my tweets from today, you know I wanted the 6 to make the 6 above all else. I could care less. X probably has to win out. You may have a point there, Budgie. You may have a point. I think it's likely, especially with the way Claire went about this. Vonnie says Tiff clocked X was throwing comps and will never throw after tonight. Yeah, he was definitely throwing. You know what I mean? But hey, Tiffany was throwing some too. Hannah was throwing a lot too. You know, and that's why it's going to be really good to see how these players, when they are trying at their hardest, how they compete versus each other. Like, what cream will rise to that top, coach? You know, I'm not completely sold that X dominates. I believe Hannah could be his foil because there are certain tools in her locker that Xavier may or may not have because he haven't showcased them yet. Time will tell, you know. X went on the block 5 times in a row. He's a soldier. I thought it was 4. You know what? It probably is 5 now, huh? It probably is 5. You're right. Thank you for correcting me on that, Ubonk. 5 times in a row. Listen, we got to keep it a beam. If he makes final 2, man, he probably should win 9-0 just for hitting the block 5 times in a row. Now, I get it. Some people would argue, well, he had the Cookout keeping him every time. Is it that much of a sacrifice? Yeah, it is, because some people in 6 don't want to touch the block at all. So let's not act as if that isn't a sacrifice in itself. Someone got to touch that block and keep the house narrative going that they aren't together because someone black is on the block. And X was willing to do it every time. Like Ice Cube said, today was a good day. Ain't that the truth, Patrice? It's a cookout day. Man, I want to go out and barbecue now, but it's dark outside. You feel it, dig me? Yes, I want a jury segment too, Rod. And that's why I hope production, I hope they hear us out there. Because with a double coming next week, we probably won't get that jury segment. Actually, we wouldn't mind if y'all fit that in on Sunday or Wednesday's episode, to be honest. Just give it to us. It's too compelling for us to see. As Monique once said, I would like to see it, you know? Fuji TV says Kai can't say anything because he's dropping dimes in the goodbye messages. Ooh, she's saying, listen, hey man, pay attention. She giving that tea out. I feel like that meme with that dude who just, you feel you have a point. You know, Kai is on his own stuff, you know, so you do have a point there, coach. Budgie says Claire was misted by Tiffany. She was, I'll admit that, but also the way Claire just took that back door and didn't fight back and then figured out a way to be mad at Xavier and Kylan the most for it. Like, yo, Xavier's on the block. Like, how could he alter these noms? Like at the end of the day, this ain't X's fault, right? This is the collective's fault, you know? But Claire seems fixated on blaming men because I just don't get it. I really don't. At the end of the day, blame them all or blame no one. You know what I'm saying? And it will be interesting to see if Tiffany's bold-faced lie to Claire's face about them all not being aligned. It will be interesting to see if Claire is angry about that when she gets to jury and realize they are aligned. And we don't know what the goodbye messages entail. So Kai may blow this all up by telling Claire to cook out too. I mean, Tiffany might blow this up by bringing up the cookout in her goodbye message. Oh man, see, now I want to see these goodbye messages. Because no doubt those goodbye messages are going to have a direct impact on the jury segment next week too. Oh man. This is a very intriguing game. People said this game was getting boring. If you're bored at this point, I don't know what to tell you because there's so many different storylines, and I'm trying my best to cover them all in freestyle fashion. You know what I mean? Claire ran out that house so fast. I mean, literally, she ran out that house like she was Little Red Riding Hood and just stole some stuff, huh? Like real talk. She dipped out the jam. You know what I mean? Claire was like, I'm trying to think. I remember in college, right? I'm gonna give y'all a story real quick. I remember in college, we was in this gymnasium for this Lloyd concert. It was homecoming. And this was back when Lloyd was that dude. This is like 2010 or something like that. This when he had all, she fine too, but I want you. All that stuff was hot in the streets. Y'all know what I'm talking about, all right? Y'all know what I'm talking about. Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because when Lloyd was done performing, man, he dipped out that jam so fast. Soon as his set was up, all right, y'all, deuces, Kentucky, I rock with y'all. He gone. You feel it? We like, damn, where Lloyd go? You feel it, dig me? It was as if this man had a Kage Bushin jutsu and he just let his clone disappear. That's how fast he was out that jam. So usually when people are that quick to leave, they know they just did some sideways type stuff and they don't want to answer for it. And I also believe Claire being in a rush to leave was her trying her best to not make it seem like Tiffany worked with her on that speech because she didn't want to hug anyone. So she's almost trying to make it seem like I'm mad at all of y'all, including Tiffany. That's why I'm hugging none of y'all. But Tiffany helped me with this speech, and I hope y'all dumb enough not to believe it. So I guess in theory, you could argue Claire not hugging anyone was her covering up for Tiffany more. Okay, I've talked myself into that maybe being a good move. But I think this is Claire's best move all season. So what does that really say? Your best move is walking out the house and hugging no one and being a sore loser. I don't know what to say. You know, hey, listen, even your fans can admit, flop. You know, even your fans can admit it. Alyssa thought she was really Dan Giesling this week. I mean, literally, man. Hey, listen. Have you ever played with your little cousin, little niece, play a video game with them, and you turn all the sliders up on their team before they show up, so then they feel like they on God mode with you? Sometimes something like that can make that kid believe he can take on anyone his age because I just beat the OG. Never underestimate what that type of impact and just letting a kid win can do for their confidence moving forward, right? In a subtle way, they kind of did that with Alyssa, but they did it to give her a false sense of security, hoping she wouldn't gun as hard to win comps. Now, Alyssa always knew what was up. She clearly always knew what's up, because even when Hannah created the excuse that X was the target, she knew what was up, because she knew Tiffany targeted her for the same reason. And this is the problem, Hannah. You tried to get close to Alyssa to separate yourself from Tiffany, but by you throwing up Alyssa next to Xavier just like Tiffany, you just walked all of that work back. So Hannah's going to have it really difficult from a jury management standpoint. Now, at the end of the day, as long as the jury management is fine with the 6, you could argue she wins the game anyway because she just needs DX and Claire to vote for her on top of 4 other players in the 6. But I think she's cutting it close now, and that's why this game is so good to me, because anyone can win this. Anything can happen. I've seen some crazy stuff pop off. You know, I've seen Paris win this game and BB Can, what was that, BB Can 6? When it didn't look like she had a chance. No chance in hell you got. You know, shout outs to Vince McMahon. But it just seemed like she didn't have no chance, and she somehow won the final HOH, took out Kayla's boyfriend, and then won the game. And to this day, Kayla's bitter over that, but that's neither here nor there. You right, Vonnie. Y'all did have to bribe me for me to cover this season, and then boy, am I glad y'all bribed me. You feel it, dig me? Hey, man, listen. Like, hey, man, let's keep it a bean in these streets. We are 34 rants in, and we're in the final 6. I don't have a rant with more than 34 rants on it, and we only in final 6 right now. So at the end of the day, Um, I hope the viewers appreciate my work ethic as much as I appreciate the Cookout's work ethic. I felt like I had to match them because of how hard they were working. I felt like they needed someone like me to speak up for them and to give more credit to them. Because at the end of the day, I was always scared that they wouldn't get the credit they truly deserved, because there would be alumni scared that they would lose their clout, lose their relevancy, lose their ranking in the all-time list. And you see, a lot of alumni are beginning to hate, so that's coming to fruition. I was worried about all these things, you know. So when I decided to do it, I saw that cast. Oh, I'm coming back. Yeah, I just saw the cast and oh, we official, right? I looked at this cast, I was like, oh, okay. You know, usually I can look at a cast and I can tell, okay, I bet. They actually gave us some weapons this time, boy. You know what I mean? Like, this ain't Cam Newton on the Patriots no more. Come on, man. Can we give it a bean? Bill Belichick set that brother up to fail. And I'd argue production was doing that to black men and black women for years. So that's why I brought it up. This time around, we Tom Brady on the Buccaneers, ain't we? Well, we got Ndamukong Suh over here. We got Jason Pierre-Paul over here. Huh? We got Mike Evans over there, huh? Like, we got just goons everywhere. We got OJ Howard, like, yo, Gronk, like, yo, we got all these weapons. Hell yeah, we gonna use them. Heck yeah. Alex Fritz asked the question, how do you feel about everything that happened tonight? I think the beginning of this rant tells you how I feel. I feel relieved. I feel like all of the work I put in to bring awareness to the voiceless black alums of the past that were done grimy, I feel like all of these things now were done for a reason, because they finally have come to fruition completely. We've come full circle now. Now it's not about the black player being the victim. Now it's about the black player being able to actually play. That one difference makes all the difference in the world. All the difference. Shout out to Miss Vonnie for the super chat. Thank you for making a commentary for us BB Black fans. We came so far. Oh, we definitely came far, Vonnie. Ain't that the truth? You know? We made it even though we had our backs up against the wall. They are gaming already. No days off. All the feed's already back on. So what do y'all think? They'll do the HOH comp tomorrow or later tonight? From the sounds of it, there's no HOH right now. No new one, I mean. Oh, it is a 2-hour episode. It is? Thank you, Superstar Dallas. Thank you, What is Bitcoin? Thank you all for clearing that up for me. Production. Y'all did it. Y'all did it official this season. I ain't gonna knock nothing no more. All right, until further notice. Hey, man, listen. Look, y'all got some Infinity Stones over there now. I don't know what y'all done did. I don't know who y'all fired. Oh, we know who y'all fired, but I ain't gonna go there. We tried to tell people soon as she was let go, good things would happen, didn't we? We tried to tell them. We tried to tell them. I think a lot of my previous rant playlists now are gonna get a lot of playbacks now, because people are gonna see now. Wow, like he was calling this out way before people saw it. So this is also good, not only for the culture, but it's also good to bring more attention and more awareness to those previous seasons, to further show people how we got to this point. Like I've always said, I'm about the journey, not necessarily the destination. And now that we know that the destination will be black excellence, oh, I'm loving this journey. Slow it down. I do not want to be in no rush right now, you know? Because once this season is over, Coach, you know what? I'm going to keep it a bean. When this season is over, I'm going to look into whether you can get this whole season on Blu-ray or something. Like real, I want to collect this season and keep it in a time capsule somewhere. You know what I mean? I want to make sure can no one delete the tapes. You know what I mean? Like, real talk, man. I want to have this on me at all times, bruh. You know what I mean? And I want to make sure if I ain't got no Wi-Fi, I can always go back and watch. Because, man, this is amazing. I agree. We do need a jury segment, not 5 minutes, at least 10. Honestly, I would go straight 20, because SB got to walk in first, right? Then Claire got to walk in. We still got to see how SB gets treated. And you know she gonna get some of them stink eyes from Brittany and DX. That's gonna be 10 minutes worth in itself. Then Claire walks in. That's 10 minutes in itself. Then Alyssa walks in. Listen, man, just give us half an hour on the jury. You really dig me? I'm just saying, man, I think it's gonna be very interesting. I think it's gonna be very interesting. But thank you so much for clearing that up, y'all. I am so happy now that next week is a 2-hour episode. I'm so happy. We needed that. We needed that. You know, we didn't need it tonight, but we definitely will need it next week. Whitney says, "Where's that vibe cookout cover?" Dang, I don't think I got it on me, Whitney. I be like saving photos and moving them around and stuff, so I don't really know what folder it is in. But honestly, if I could get that vibe cookout cover in a transparent, I would definitely turn some merch into that. That go hard. But you got to be careful, though. You can't really use people's likeness while they're in the game. That's why you've seen me. I ain't used no one's real face yet. None of that stuff. I would try to like get someone to draw a portrait version of that version and then make merch out of that. That's the way around it, basically. That's my idea. But time will tell if I can get an artist that can put that together. If any of y'all happen to be a long-standing or a fan or a listener, a viewer of RBR, and you happen to be a fantastic graphic designer or artist, hey, man, I'll pay you some money to just draw out that vibe picture so we can turn that into some merch. Because I think a lot of people will want that. You know, at this point, that shirt is legendary. And for the people who haven't noticed yet, y'all know who I'm wearing? Huh? Huh? You know what it is. Oh, I wore this tonight for a reason. You feel it, dig me? Oh, we on code all night. Coach, oh, dang, my feed just jumped up as soon as I was finna answer a question. It looked like a good question. Okay, Ubong says, Dave, who are some players whose legacies are threatened by the cookout? Well, let's just keep it a bean. Almost every black player besides Daniel Reyes, Swaley, Marvin, Kalia, Monica, pretty much every player besides those 5 that has been black all got put in the back burner for this 6. The 6 has leapfrogged all of them. The only 5 that can really talk to them are the 5 I just mentioned. In terms of alumni that aren't black, because I know that's where the question's really going towards. Because you went for legacy, so I'm assuming you mean for me to bring up legends who have something to be worried about. I think if Tiffany wins this game, there's an argument to be had here that, I mean, who would you say is the best woman to win the game, though? Would it be Nicole? Oh. Who would be the best woman to win the game? Because Danielle didn't win. Would it be June? Would June's song be the best winner? I would never pick Jordan. I would never pick Rachel. I think you got to say June Song's the best woman to ever win the game. Yeah, I think you have to say that. So I think if Tiffany wins, I think you got to say she's better than June. I think if Hannah wins, I think there's an argument there, but it's tough. If Ozza somehow wins, I don't think you can say she's June Song levels, but she's definitely iconic. In terms of the men, though, because there's more male winners. So let's get into the brass tacks of it all. Man, if Xavier or Kylan win this game, when you think about all of the stuff they did, there's a legit argument to be had that if either of those 2 men win the game, that only Dan, Derek, and Dr. Will can talk to them. And even then, I'd argue Xavier is probably a little better than Derek. He didn't have a Team America twist. Twist actually hurt X's game. Now, I'm not willing to say X is better than Dan yet. I'm not willing to say X is better than Will yet, but I've always thought Will and Dan was better than Derek. So please do not think I'm overrating him. I'm just giving y'all a true assessment here. I think if Kylan wins the game, touching the block week 1, then winning it, that's some Dan shit. That's some Dan shit. Let's keep it real. I think you might have a stronger case that Kylan, if he wins from the position he was in Final 8, if he figures out a way to win this game because of one mistake Tiffany may have made, there's argument to be had that he's one of the top 5 best players ever. If Xavier wins, there's argument to be had he's one of the top 5 players ever too. I just think Kylan has he has a lot of different, like, I don't know. I'll put it this way. Xavier is the standard mastermind that we're used to. Kylan is a little nuanced and kind of eccentric. There's an argument to be had here if he were to win this game from all of the precarious positions he was in, thinking about how much hate he got from being linked to SB, there's argument to be had that he could be a better winner than even X if he wins. I'm being as unbiased as I can be here because it's about your journey, and honestly, X's journey is elite too, but Kylan's journey is, like I told patrons, it's a roller coaster. And see, my mid-season WTF, I'm trying not to give up too much from that because I want the patrons to always have that exclusive content. But y'all know that based off my ranking, I'm not being too far off of my assessment here. You know what I mean? Thank you, Rod, for plugging the Patreon. I truly believe if a lot of y'all became patrons, a lot of the stuff I say to the public would make a lot more sense because you would get more of the full story from me. When you only get half of the story or a third of it, well, really, y'all getting kind of 66% of the story per week because I do 2 publics and I do an exclusive one on average. Now, this week I did 2 exclusives and I did 2 publics. So it's kind of 50%. You're getting half the story this week. But the patrons know I equipped them for this final 6. I done gave them all the sensu beans, all of the cheat codes, all the Prima strategy guides. We're ready for this Infinity War. We're ready for it. Absolutely. They should be dogging out Claire, man. She really thought she was doing something with that speech, Precious. I'm just keeping it a bean. Yeah, the brigade, and let's be real. We already know the Cookout's the greatest alliance ever now. But if any of these alliances want to talk up, as Drake and Jay-Z would say, they really can't say nothing. And honestly, I don't expect many to say much because they don't want to come off as anti-black. So it creates a scenario where it's best to just let us have this moment and just chill out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all have had y'all moments for 20 years. Let us have this one. It's going to be okay. Y'all know next season, we probably don't get anything similar to a Cookout 2.0. So let us have this one. And also, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to let you all know there will be a winter season of Celebrity Big Brother. They're bringing it back. So that also tells me they fully turned a new page because after Tamar won, they were not in no rush to bring that back. So now that we are getting a black winner, they probably see this is the perfect time for us to bring Celebrity Big Brother US back because now we've already shown people, hey, we acknowledge we messed up. Hopefully this will be some type of an olive branch, BB23. This is the perfect olive branch, and I'm here to tell y'all, I'll be here for Celebrity Big Brother US 3. I owe it to Tamar's legacy to keep covering it. I owe it to her. And I don't want to be a hypocrite. Who am I to criticize CBS for not bringing it back after Tamar wins just to not cover it when it gets brought back after a black person wins BB23? Oh, I'm covering that because they might have a cookout, a celebrity cookout. All right, hold up. Who would be in the celebrity cookout? Oh, now that's a fun game we can play. They already had Meta World Peace. They've had Ricky Williams. So I think they're going to have at least one black athlete. Who would be an interesting character to bring on a season like that? You know what? I could say that for another video. Patrons, y'all gonna get some good stuff with that one. I don't want to give up too much. I want to stick to the Cookout tonight. I'll thank you, Rod, for mentioning that. It's like Rod knows what's on my mind before I say it, because he posts some, and I promise I'm not copying, but because I would give the credit anyway. But man, he really posts things before I say them. Like I'll be like up the scroll and come down, and I'll be just done mentioning something, and then Rod will say it. I'll be like, man, Rod, man, I appreciate you, man. They should do another All-Stars, and they will, Mr. Ty. Oh, not All-Stars, my fault. That's Celebrity Big Brother. I got that conflicted. They should do another All-Stars next season with the whole Cookout plus Danny Reyes, Marvin, Libra, and Kalia. You know what? I don't think they should do another All-Star so soon. I disagree with that part. But when they do another All-Stars, okay, All-Stars was BB7, BB22. That was 15 years. I think BB30 should be the next All-Stars. I think it's only right. So wait about 7 more years. And by that time, you know the entire Cookout is All-Stars. Now. I think Derek F isn't brought back. I think Ozza isn't brought back. But I do think the other 4 could be. Now, I think Hannah may be too busy with her life by then, so she'll decline. But I think Tiffany, Kylan, and X would play again for All-Stars. And boy, could you imagine the target that would be on those 3 if they played again? Number 1, people know what they're capable of. Number 2, they know that they work well together. Woo! You know what? I don't even want them to play again. You know what? I'm going to keep it a bean in these streets. I wanted Floyd to retire because I ain't want no one taking his O away. I don't want no one to take this alliance's O away. They undefeated as an alliance. You know, I want to keep it that way. And we know all the pre-gaming that would pop off, they would just scheme against the Cookout anyway. We know what's going on. But nah, that's neither here nor there. Thank you so much for the super chat from Onslaught. We appreciate you. God bless. Hey, I appreciate you too, Coach. It's all love. And I'm happy y'all are as happy as I am. Listen, man, we sat through a lot to get to this moment, and we should be proud of ourselves for not quitting on ourselves, for not quitting on the game. You know, we could have walked away from this show a while ago, you know, but if we would have, Sir Anthony Douglas wouldn't have had me defending his game when he needed me the most. You know, the Sunsetters wouldn't have had me when they needed me the most, and most importantly, the Cookout wouldn't have had me when they needed me the most. You know, we can't afford to leave this game now. I believe now is when they need us the most, Coach, because I believe there is going to be quite the reckoning coming because of how dominant this alliance truly was. But with that said, we don't care. This season's all that matters, Coach. All right? You know, the world could end next week, right? But what we do know is this alliance is the greatest right now. We don't care. We really don't. Shout outs to Lee Parks for the super chat, Coach. You know what it is. I didn't even do an intro today, Lee. That's how serious this was. Didn't even do one. And I'm so happy I didn't. Because it really brought home how I felt. It really did. Whitney, y'all funny. Well, Lee, you know what it is with that. But ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to hold y'all too long. At the end of the day, this rant was supposed to be a celebration, and it is. We can save the deep dives for Saturday night. All right, so I'm going to get out y'all hair. I want y'all to enjoy yourselves, and I want y'all to stay safe out here. You know, don't drink and drive. If you're going to drink, stay home and stay safe, all right? But definitely celebrate because we all deserve this, and we've all been through a lot. So don't let nobody make you feel like you are overreacting to history. Don't make nobody make you feel like you don't have the right to believe you also won this game this season, because you did. I did, and you did. So without further ado, if you could, please like this video, comment underneath it, and share it with all the fans of Big Brother 23 that you rock with, Coach. I'm Dave Smith with Recency Bias Radio, where no one is safe from criticism. And I'll see y'all on Saturday. But until then, it's a Cookout celebration, baby. Let it commence. No one is as good as us.